What happens when one of country music's biggest stars comes face to face with a daytime television host, and the interview takes an unexpected and explosive turn? That's exactly what unfolded when Jason Aldean appeared on Kelly Clarkson's show, expecting a routine conversation about his latest music, only to find himself in the middle of one of the most shocking live TV confrontations in recent memory. The studio was buzzing with energy as Jason Aldean entered, exuding his usual calm confidence. Dressed in a casual jacket and jeans, he smiled and waved to the live audience, who responded with enthusiastic applause. Cameras captured every step, every subtle nod, and every gesture. Kelly greeted him warmly, her trademark enthusiasm lighting up the room. "Jason, it's so great to have you here," Kelly began, smiling broadly. "We're so excited to talk about your new album and all the amazing things you've been working on." Jason returned the smile politely. "Thanks for having me, Kelly. I'm looking forward to chatting." The first few minutes went smoothly. Jason spoke about his music, the inspiration behind his latest album, and the stories that shaped some of his most iconic songs. The audience clapped and cheered, clearly invested in every word. Kelly asked engaging questions, keeping the tone light and conversational. But then, without warning, the conversation shifted. Kelly leaned forward, her smile replaced by a more serious expression. "Jason, there's been a lot of talk lately about some of your lyrics and the controversies surrounding them. How do you respond to critics who say your music sometimes sparks debate?" Jason's polite demeanor faltered slightly. "Well, Kelly, I write from personal experience and my life as I see it. Music is meant to tell stories, sometimes raw and honest, but I never set out to create controversy." Kelly pressed further. "Of course, but some of your songs have been interpreted as targeting certain groups or messages. How do you address that on stage, in interviews, and publicly?" Jason shifted in his seat, his hands gripping the armrest slightly. "I focus on the music itself and the fans who connect with it. Interpretation is one thing, but assigning intent that wasn't there feels unfair." The audience could sense the tension rising. There was an unspoken pause, and even the usual background energy in the studio seemed to dim. Kelly leaned forward more aggressively. "But Jason," she continued, "don't you think as a public figure your words carry weight? People look up to you and they want accountability. Isn't that part of being in the spotlight?" Jason's voice grew firmer. "I get that, but accountability doesn't mean being put on the defensive for every misinterpretation. There's a difference between dialogue and interrogation." Kelly's tone sharpened. "We're just asking questions, Jason. Isn't that what interviews are for?" "Questions are fine," Jason replied, his jaw tightening. "But it starts to feel like you're fishing for a soundbite, trying to stir drama rather than have a genuine conversation about my music." The studio went quiet. Even the audience, who had been fully engaged, now seemed tense and uneasy. The energy was shifting from excitement to discomfort. Cameras zoomed in on Jason's face, capturing the subtle shift from polite to visibly frustrated. Kelly's expression flickered, but she pressed on. "Drama? We're just trying to understand the person behind the music. Fans care about the stories behind the songs. They want honesty." Jason's tone grew sharper, controlled but resolute. "Honesty is one thing. Feeling cornered and manipulated on national television is another. I came here to talk about my music, my experiences, not to defend myself against interpretations I didn't intend." Marking the escalation, the producers behind the cameras could be seen making frantic gestures, urging Kelly to steer the conversation back to safer ground. But on camera, Kelly pressed on, leaning closer with a pointed look. "Jason, you've built a career sharing personal stories. Don't you think it's fair for people to ask about them?" Jason's eyes narrowed slightly. "There's a difference between sharing and being interrogated. I choose what I share. I don't owe anyone confirmation of assumptions." The audience was completely silent now, sensing that the confrontation had reached a critical point. Some viewers were visibly leaning forward, phones out, capturing the escalating tension for social media. Kelly's voice took on a more insistent tone. "Jason, isn't avoiding these questions just protecting yourself from criticism? Your fans deserve transparency." Jason's hands clenched at the edges of his chair. "Transparency doesn't mean exploitation. I'm happy to talk about my music, my creative process, and my inspirations, but personal attacks or insinuations cross a line." The room felt electric with tension. Every word hung in the air, heavy and charged. The audience could feel the shift from a light-hearted chat to an uncomfortable standoff. Cameras caught every fleeting expression. Jason's calm determination contrasted sharply with Kelly's assertive energy. "Jason," Kelly said, leaning back slightly, "we're not attacking you. We're just discussing public perception and your responsibility as an artist. Isn't that fair?" Jason's voice grew steady but cold. "It's not fair when the conversation strays into humiliation or manipulation. I came here in good faith to have a conversation about music. If this isn't possible, then I have no choice but to leave." A collective gasp rose from the audience. Kelly blinked, caught off guard by the sudden firmness in his voice. Jason stood, the microphone in hand, and nodded politely but firmly. "Thank you for having me," he said quietly, "but this conversation isn't productive." Without another word, Jason turned and walked toward the exit. His steps echoed through the silent studio as cameras followed him for a brief moment. The audience was stunned, unsure how to react. Some applauded quietly, others murmured in shock. The energy in the room had completely shifted. Kelly sat frozen at the desk, momentarily speechless, while the producers scrambled behind the scenes. Marked on social media almost instantly, the video of Jason walking off went viral within minutes. Fans praised him for standing up for his principles, while critics debated whether he overreacted. Hashtags like Jason Walks Off, Kelly Clarkson Drama, and Live TV Clash started trending worldwide. Entertainment outlets replayed the moment non-stop. Analysts dissected body language, tone, and intent. Every subtle gesture became a point of discussion. Jason's calm but firm exit, the audience's stunned reaction, and Kelly's attempt to regain control of the interview. Within hours, social media was flooded with opinions. Fans debated endlessly whether Jason's actions were justified, whether Kelly had gone too far, and what this meant for live television interviews in general. Clips were shared across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, generating millions of views in just a few hours. Later, Jason posted a statement on social media. "I came to discuss my music and connect with fans. What happened on today's show was not what I expected. I respect my audience, but I also respect myself, and I won't allow my words or intentions to be misrepresented for entertainment purposes." Kelly Clarkson released a statement acknowledging that the conversation became tense and expressing hope that both sides could learn from the experience. Fans debated back and forth, but the general consensus was clear. Jason Aldean had drawn a line in the sand, showing that even in the world of live television, personal boundaries matter. The incident continued to dominate headlines for weeks. Late-night shows referenced it. Twitter debates raged. Talk shows analyzed the dynamics of celebrity interviews, social media ethics, and the pressures of maintaining composure under live broadcast conditions. For Jason Aldean, it was a clear statement. His music, his life, and his stories would be shared on his terms, and he would not allow public pressure or media manipulation to compromise that. For Kelly Clarkson, it was a lesson in the delicate balance between curiosity and respect, between engaging content and ethical interviewing. The audience and viewers alike were left with a story to remember, a rare, unfiltered glimpse into the tensions that exist between celebrity, media, and personal boundaries, a moment that would be replayed, dissected, and discussed for years to come. This confrontation serves as a reminder that live TV is unpredictable, that fame carries scrutiny, and that sometimes the most powerful moments are the ones when someone stands up and says, "Enough." Jason Aldean's exit wasn't just a walk-off. It was a statement about respect, boundaries, and integrity in the world of celebrity interviews.